Hey there, everybody. This is Jackie Bros.
Folks, people, this is Dunlap, the man. We want to thank everybody who's been giving us money over there on that
Patreon.
close Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, we getting closer and closer to where we're going to do this new podcast.
New podcast?
Well, it's called Redneck Matinees, what we think we're calling it now. And we're the two of us going to sit there and watch some of our favorite movies from years ago to most of them are older movies. I don't know are there any new ones in there at all?
Black Dog.
Black Dog's pretty new, yeah, I guess.
I mean,
so.
it's 20 years old.
That's Sling Blade.
That's 25 years old.
That's if you saw somebody that was 25 years old, you wouldn't say that they was old, but that's old for movies, though, isn't it?
I mean, it depends. What are they trying to do? Date a 15-year-old?
Wait, what?
Then they're old. Or are they trying to join up in the army? Too old.
Well,
start smoking? Too old.
Well, if you look at it that way, I reckon it is. But we're going to watch that too, I guess.
Going to see Sherlock Gnomes? Too old.
What is it?
Sherlock Gnomes?
We ain't watching that, are we?
It's not on the list, should we?
No.
And folks, we also want to thank everybody who's been helping us get this Patreon going. We're not going to talk about it every time we start a podcast, but probably for the next, what do you think, 27 podcasts?
I guess.
So we just want to say thank you so much. Everybody's giving us $5 gets a bonus podcast every week, 20 extra minutes with Jackie and Dunlap. So far, we've mostly spent that talking about Skip Stevenson doing a deep dive into the former Real People host's country music career, trying to find out everything we can about that. So you're going to want to pony up $5, get you in. You can join the amateur Skip Stevenson Sleuth Club. Listen to 20 extra minutes with Jackie and Dunlap.
Yeah.
What else you going to do with $5?
Well, I tell you what, just today, if you ain't give $5 yet, you may want to do it now. Because I tell you what, on 20 extra minutes with Jackie and Dunlap, we're going to talk some more about this Skip Stevenson fella and a lot about this Crystal commercial he was in. I'm telling you what, it's fascinating. More we learn every week, more I get excited to talk about it on 20 extra minutes.
Look, $5 won't even get you a Crystal burger anymore.
Nope.
You pull up a Crystal and say, hey, I got $5 in my pocket. Can I get a Crystal burger? And you come around to the window and they said, we just wanted to see your stupid face. We've been laughing at you ever since you got on that order box and said, hey, what can I get for $5? You can't get shit for $5 at Crystal now. Now, what you could do is give that money to Jackie and Dunlap on their podcast. And you go, okay, thanks, Crystal person.
Well, you might want to have to set a little money aside because you get to talking about crystals just since we've been doing it on this thing, asking for money. I'm already hungry for one. I'm ready when we get done here. Let's hurry up.
So what you need to do, set $5 aside for us every month and set $5 aside in your Crystal bank.
That ain't enough.
Well, no, you put it in the bank.
Okay, you save it up. All right.
You got a little crystal. Don't you have a crystal jar by the door?
No, I ain't got a crystal jar.
What?
I don't.
Well, wait, what reminds you when you're walking out of your house to stop by Crystal?
When I want a crystal, I go buy and get one. Like I said, been talking about it I don't know how long now. Make me hungry for it now.
Mr. Hippie Freedom does what he wants.
Oh, hell.
Me and you and a dog named Boo, I reckon.
Shut your mouth.
Hey, look at there. You see him? Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey, everybody, I'm Jackie Bros.
Folks, people, this is Mr. Dunlap, the man, your best friend. It's good to see you all back here at our podcast so that we can get through the news together as friends.
Try to, anyway.
A lot of times, me and Jackie will watch the news and we'll just reach across and hold each other's hands.
No, I don't hold nobody's hand. No, I don't do that. What are you talking about? No.
Sometimes I'll just put my arm around him and say, are you okay?
And I'll tell him, I'm fine. Get your arm off of me.
And that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
Used to, I never felt like I needed a hug after Walter Cronkite.
No.
I didn't want to hug after David Brinkley. I didn't want them to hug me. But now I feel like we need a hug, and there's some people who'd be good huggers giving us the news.
Who?
Don Lemon.
I like Don Lemon. He's nice.
Warm, personable.
He's nice. Yeah.
Deliver the news and be like, get in here. Come on, we're going to be okay.
Maybe I'd take a hug from him. I don't like it. Who else, though? I can't think of anybody else that I want to hug from.
You know who I think it'd be funny to hug?
Huh?
Chris Wallace.
He needs one.
But you'd have to force it on him. You'd have to say, come here, Chris.
He needs a hug.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
I'm not the one to give it to him, but he needs a hug. You can tell him.
Chris Wallace, I'm a hugger. Come here. I got to hug you now. You give me the news. You talk to all these people. And you raise your eyebrows when they said they're bullshit.
Hey.
I appreciate. Come here. Like, okay. Just hug him, pull him in there. It feels good, don't it, Chris Wallace? It don't feel bad, does it? Thanks for the hug.
There's not too many people on TV I won't give a hug to, I think about it.
Wolf
Blitzer?
Yeah.
Do I want to hug him?
Well, I mean, would it be a bad experience, you think?
It wouldn't be neither bad nor good. I just don't see the point of it. It ain't about like, Lord knows I don't want to hug him. It's not that. It's just,
I feel like it would just be awkward.
Hey, watching him is awkward. So hugging him is going to be 3 times as awkward.
Listen. Ain't nobody that you look at and you feel awkward going to get less awkward when you hug them.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you are already feeling ill at ease, don't go in for a hug. When was the last time you hugged anybody, Jackie?
I don't know. I don't keep track of who I hug, who I don't. I ain't a big.
You ain't got a huggy log?
I don't hug people on a regular basis. Nobody I can think of.
Is that why you quit going to church?
My wife a hug. What do you mean quit going? What's hugging got to do with going to church?
Oh, they hug you at church.
Some people do. Not everybody. You don't have to go hug people at church. Some people go to church ain't worried about hugging people over there about praising the Lord.
Well, some people go to church just for the hugs.
Well, some people just go for, picnic on the grounds too. So, food.
Some people just go to gossip.
That's true. Some
people just go to be a hypocrite.
Yeah, most folks, I think, about that. But
some people just go to steal crystal money out of the offering plate.
Crystal money out of the offering plate? What? I don't go to church often as I should. I go on holidays, and my wife wants to go, but, she's had a stroke. She's at home. She don't, care about going too many places these days, I'll be honest with you. And I hug her every now and then. I hug her every morning and every night before we go to bed. So I give her a little hug. But that's it. I don't hug nobody else. And I can't think of anybody on TV I want to hug.
Gross.
There's people who were passed on who I wish, if I had the opportunity to say, hug Jim Rockford or just once, not like to just, embarrass yourself hugging him, but just like, you pat on the back.
That's not a hug.
Well, just kind of, you go in and pat on the back. You don't,
70s Jim Rockford would be a good hug when he's all paunchy and his stomach's pooching out on them button-down shirts a little bit over his belt buckle. He'd feel warm and soft.
Well, he's comfortable with the way he looked. That's what you like about old Rockford, finally. Yeah.
So you're saying there's people you want to hug now that they're dead that you didn't want to hug when they were alive?
I don't sit around and think about it. I just, you ask them who you hug, who you don't on TV. Jim Rockford seemed like a nice, if he passed on and didn't get the opportunity.
He's more of a shoulder clap.
There ain't nobody on, I wouldn't hug on, I'd say this right now, on, Mayberry, RFD, or Andy Griffith, any of those. Everybody seems like, I wish had the opportunity to hug all them, but, they're all gone too.
You'd hug Otis, drunk?
Well, he ain't really,
Are you talking about hugging the actors or the characters?
Well, they ain't real. It's TV. You talking fantasy world anyway. You just saying who you hug, who you don't on TV. You hugging the. It ain't real. I know what that is. It's just funny. You get to like those people, and it seems like to feel like family, and you hug family sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
So you want to hug Aunt B, and you want to hug Barney Fife, and you want to hug Floyd the barber, and you want to hug poor little Opie, and you want to get in there close and hug Andy Griffith.
Well, I don't sit around and dream about it or anything. It just seems.
It sounds like you have a list going of everybody you want to hug. I just said it.
You're the one that asked me. That ain't a list. That's a show. That's just it ain't a list.
What's it, man?
2 shows I said. I said Jim Rockford. I wouldn't hug anybody. I wouldn't hug Angel.
That's wrong anyway, because you hugging Jim Rockford. You don't hug Maverick. He's not a hugger. You go in the wrong. You want to hug people that are not huggers.
Well, James Garner was younger when he did Maverick, fetish. And then he got older. Everybody changes when they get older, get a little more lovable, whatever it is. He just, when he was young, he just smart alecky was what Maverick was.
When you brought it up, you sold me on it because I remembered his stomach. But in the first place, it just seemed wrong. And even then, think about it again, in them smelly jackets, it seems like you put your hand on your shoulder and go, good job, Maverick. Or good way to crack a case, Jim Rockford. You don't hug him. Because he'd get that look on his face like, well, I don't, he'd look worried, and he'd call his dad.
We said a lot of dumb stuff on talking on these podcasts years and years. This is the dumbest damn thing I ever said. You the one that started who needs a hug, who don't. I was trying to answer your question. Now it don't make any sense. None of it does.
Who would you hug in the Barney Miller cast?
What?
Which of the Barney Miller cast would you hug the most?
I don't know who on Barney Miller I don't want to.
Barney Miller?
I like Hal Linden. I always liked him. He's a nice,
He's a warm, 70s, sensitive, male, masculine role model.
Well, he just seemed like a nice guy. No way I'm going to hug him, but I ain't sit around and, boy, I wish I could hug Hal Linden right now. No.
Sound like it to me.
What?
Sound like you really want to hug Hal Linden.
No, I don't.
What about Fish?
What?
Would you hug Abe Vigoda?
I'm not in the mood to hug anybody on Barney Miller. Again, if it made save somebody's life or help somebody out, I ain't. It's not that I'm scared to hug people. I just don't, and I ain't gonna hug everybody on Barney Miller. You'd be hugging all day. There's too many of them on there as it is.
It is a large cast, and they come and go. Ron Glass. So, would you hug Ron Glass?
I'd hug. It don't matter who it is on the show. I don't. First off, they're police officers. Police officers do not like to be hugged. If you try to hug a police officer, you're liable to get cuffed up and thrown to the ground. So keep that in mind.
I think they're detectives. So
that's police, though. They still plain clothes.
Different.
Well, they're law enforcement.
Jack Sue?
Huh?
Jack Sue?
Oh, just shut up.
That little guy come in later on the show in the cop outfit. What's his name?
See, the one was a police officer, yeah.
Yeah, what about the inspector come in and bow tie? Barney.
I don't watch as much of it as evidently you did. I remember it being on and it was okay, but they didn't ever go nowhere. They're always in the state. Want them to go do something. Here's the detectives. They need to be doing something. All they do is sit around and complain about something or other. That's all they did. I wanted to see him on the case. I want to see Hal Linden. I know he was a chief, but I'm sure he did some things,
So, are you trying to tell me that you didn't take subscription to TV Guide and go through it every week with a highlighter pen and highlight the names of the actors? Like, you had a system for the show with the most huggable actors.
All right, shut up.
And then in the TV listings, if the actor's name or guest actor's name came up, you'd highlight that with different colors. Was that not you? Did I not see that at your house?
No, you did not see that No, that was not me. I didn't make a list of people to hug on TV. This is the first time I ever even entertained the thought because of you saying all this. No. let's make this clear. I don't want to hug anybody on TV now. Nobody. I don't want to hug nobody on Watermelon, nobody on Mayberry, Love Boat, any of it.
You know who I'm thinking
MASH, nothing. I don't want to hug nobody.
Grandmother Ruth had a neighbor named Mr. Mickelson.
Right.
He took TV Guide, and he also took the newspaper, and he'd take the TV Guide listings out of that, and he'd go through. He had the list, and then in the garage he had a big chart. Okay. Now it's coming back to me.
Well,
I'm sorry.
me.
I was confusing you with Mr. Mickelson. I don't know why, because he had that big garage with the chart and all the pictures of the people he wanted to hug from TV.
Well,
and he had big huggable dolls, and he'd cut out people. There's a whole thing going. He was sort of an amateur seamstress, and he'd go down to Fred's or wherever, he'd go to the pattern section, he'd bring home, he'd make these big dolls, and he'd go.
Oh, hell.
You never met Mr. Mickelson?
I think I know who you're talking about. I didn't know to doing all that in the garage. That's what, so you've been around that. You witnessed to that, privy to that behavior.
Oh, no, I helped him. I helped him stuff the dolls.
Well, that's why it's still in your head if you was a young, impressionable age that you now sitting there talking about who you will hug on TV. That just you're a young man, somebody exposing you to odd behavior like that.
That's true. I was trying to pin it on you and make fun of you for your, but I totally 100% when I watch TV, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd hug them.
Well,
I mean, that may be the reason I had such a visceral reaction to Donald fucking Trump.
Hey, watch him out.
Our president was because he's somebody nobody would ever want to hug.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it, too, because that's why he tries to pay everybody.
Yeah.
He tries to pay everybody. We're like, oh, he's trying to pay people he had sex with. He's trying to pay everybody who just comes into his general orbit.
I don't want to hear it. That's not, please. We got to talk about him.
I am glad Mr. Mickelson ain't alive to have a giant stuffed Trump, because there were people that he didn't want to hug, and he said, I'd never hug him. I would never hug him. And he would still make a giant doll of them, but what he'd do is he had lawn chairs in that big old garage of his, and he turned them to the wall.
Wow.
So when they were on TV, if it was somebody that he didn't want to hug, like Grandpa Walton, he would have their doll and turn it to the wall. Wow. So he didn't have to look at him or think about hugging him. Because if he wanted to hug him, he didn't mind. He explained this all to me. I was kind of his seamstress helper and therapist and face cutter outer. And
I sure as hell hope this as far as he took this behavior.
What do you mean?
I hope it didn't get any worse than what you're talking about.
How would it be? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I hope. I'm glad to hear it didn't.
Is that what this world has come to, that nowadays you can't just simply make giant dolls of people from television you dream about hugging or not hugging and put their faces on them and have a child helping you stuff their bodies with cotton without somebody thinking, oh, there's something wrong with that?
Well, there is something, I think, not right about it. I won't go so far as wrong, but that's not normal. I'll say that.
Why did I think that was you, though? Because he didn't even look like you.
Well, I know. If we're thinking about the same man,
I
think
I know 6'9".
Yeah, I ain't.
Oh, you know why? He had that up in the rafters of the garage. He had that one doll. Oh, that's right. That I always like, there's old Santa Claus. And he go, yeah. And then later on, he was like, old Jackie's watching you. Better help me good. Old Jackie's watching you. He had that hugging doll that had your face on it.
He had a hugging doll of me?
Well, he didn't have a picture of you. He just put a beard on there and a cap and some overalls and a plaid shirt. Well, honestly, it could have been a lot of different people. But when he started saying, old Jackie doll's watching you, I'm like, why is he up in the rafters? Well, that's where he goes at night.
What?
I don't understand everything he said.
Well, I don't understand any of it.
Well, you remember old Mr. Mickelson, didn't you?
I know you're talking about it. It took me a minute. It's been years. He's been passed on for years now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you remember his funeral?
I went to it. I don't know if I remember it.
There were a lot of people there. I mean, a lot of dolls. It took us a long time to set those up at the funeral home. It was at Brick Meat Funeral Home. But that was in his will that we had to set. Oh, man, listen, you want to make a old country funeral director mad? Write a will that says he's got to spend about half an afternoon carting a bunch of creepy-ass hugging dolls from a dead man's garage
All right.
into his funeral home.
Well, I tell you what, I guess I didn't. I would have remembered this. I guess I didn't. I was busy that day. I don't know if I.
And I was still a kid. I was like, well, what are we going to do with these? And old Brick Meat said, burn them, I guess. And he looked at me. I guess my emotions were on my face. I said, I don't know. Whatever. Take them back in the house. If I remember right, and I don't know how, this is before the internet, so I have no idea how somebody would even find out about this, but I think a couple of Germans bought them all.
What?
A couple of German fellas flew over and bought all the hugging dolls.
I don't remember anything about no hugging dolls. That's something they kept for me. I don't know. First thing, what you talking about?
It's funny the things you get mixed up. I could have sworn that was you with the hugging dolls.
No, it wasn't me. No hugging
The
dog.
list.
Why would you think I had a hugging? That don't make any sense.
It's just something
like
you
it.
don't put together. You just say, "Oh, Jackie had them hugging dolls," and you think,
No.
"Well, why would Jackie have?"
Well,
he
yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Of course I wouldn't do that.
But just in my mind, it was always you a hug. Like you'd come on TV, Michael Gross on Family Ties, like, come here, Michael, and go in for a hug, hug him all the way through the show. Like, come here, Meredith, and hug her too, just a hugging and a hug. Come here, Tina Yothers. He hugged everybody on Family Ties.
Yeah.
Skippy,
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
I can't. That may have been it.
I never did watch that show. I don't know any of them you're talking about hugging.
Well, are we done with the news, or
You didn't even talk about the news. You talk about hugging dolls and strange. That
folks? If you're a new listener, let's set this up real quick. Jackie is a longtime conservative Republican right winger who, thanks to Donald Trump, is rethinking everything.
I call him. Excuse my language. I call him President Dumbass.
That's strong language.
Well, that's what he is. He's a complete. Excuse my language, but that ain't no better way to explain what that man is, but say dumbass. That's it.
And me, I guess you could say, I'm the man that opens up beer cans into the microphone.
Yeah.
If you're a new listener, you probably can turn it off now. You heard the best part right there.
Why is he open a beer in a microphone? Don't make any sense to me.
Everybody needs a catch phrase.
What? That ain't a catchphrase.
Sound.
What?
So, Jackie, President Dumbass this week, what would you like to talk about? He's going to send the National Guard to the border.
Yeah.
They are going to, he's picking fights with Amazon, with China. There's a trade war now.
Yep.
He's fighting with his own military advisors about withdrawing from Syria.
Well, he said to come down Syria, and then the White House turned around and said, no, it ain't. It don't matter what he says.
Well, it matters what the president says.
No, it used to.
That's what everybody said when he needs to learn that the president can't go around saying bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, you elected Mr. Bullshit.
Well, yeah.
What did they think was going to happen?
That's exactly what's going to happen. He said nothing but a bunch of bull hockey, I'll say it that way, when he was running.
He said nonsense, lies, slander.
That's what people like these days. That's what people want in a president.
Narcissistic gobbledygook. But suddenly, when he's in the White House, he needs to realize that what the president says matters. Like, he's never said anything that matters in his life. He's taken out full-page ads in newspapers.
Yep.
You know, to try to get innocent people life in prison, or killed, right? Yeah. He's not going to change. He's not going to change. I guess we're finally realizing.
He's 70-something years old. No, he ain't going to. That's what they said on the news, what you're saying there every night. They said it on the news. Well, he needs to learn what the president says, the words, choose his words, but it don't And that's gone now. Nobody says that anymore because it's just like, it don't matter what it says.
The only people who wanted Donald Trump, President Dumbass, to change are the people who didn't vote for him. People who voted for him are fine with him doing shit the way he does it.
That's why they voted for him.
They don't want him to change. They don't want to change. They don't want the world to change. They don't want him to change. So why did everybody think, well, he can't act like this? People voted for him. They knew he was an idiot. They knew he rode down that escalator saying, Mexicans, Mexicans. I was about to you know what I was about to say? Being racist. And then people always say, oh, well, how do you... Well, he says racist things. But that's just Mexican. He's dog whistling without the part where nobody can hear it. It's just whistling or dog calling. I don't know what you'd call it. What do you call a dog whistle that you can...
That's a regular whistle is what that is. He
just came...
Got nothing to do with it,
right down that escalator whistling Mexicans are rapists and got to keep them out. So, if you think we need stronger borders, if you think there are reasons for... If you think there are reasons for what Donald Trump says, it seems like you'd be mad at Donald Trump for fucking your shit up.
Watch your mouth. Don't say it that way.
For being a dumbass who agrees with you. And he's just going to mess your shit up. He's going to, by the time this is all said and done, you're going to be further away from your goals.
Well, yeah.
But you will have made liberals mad for, what do you want to say, 2.5, 3 years?
Something like that, yeah, probably, yeah.
Maybe that's worth it.
For some people, it is.
I mean, it is funny when liberals get
I
mad.
used to love it. Nothing made me happier than watching liberals, smoke come out the ears. Look like a cartoon, just going nuts. But now I'm in the same boat with them. I don't like it at all. I'm tired of people laughing at me because I don't like it, because I give it two damns about this country and what the Republican Party used to be, anyway.
People say Jackie, and they go, you still don't like Trump? And Jackie says, hell no, I don't.
Hell no, I don't like
And they go,
yeah, not fun. I don't see that.
Drive away, throw a can at him. It's the world we live in now. People throwing cans at old men. Old, pathetic, sad, gibbering men.
Ain't nobody throw cans at me. He making that part up. I don't say anybody likes this man. That don't make a bit of sense to me. Just ugly, just mean, ugly people for the most part. I know not everybody's mean and ugly, and I know not everybody's racist. But you sure did vote for someone that's racist and mean and ugly. I don't know what that makes you. Some of you are ugly and mean. I mean, you are. There's a lot of people who vote for. I mean, you see this, Charlottesville. All those people love him, The day after he was, elected, they was Nazis saluting him and everything. So, I mean, those are ugly people. They are. I guess Roseanne is nice. We used to watch the old Roseanne show, and that's what they said. These people ain't ugly. They're good people, and they love him. But I ain't watched it yet. I ain't turned it on. Not because of that, just because I ain't,
So you're saying on the TV show Roseanne is nice, but in real life she's crazy.
I don't know that. I don't know the woman in real life.
It's sexist to say that women are crazy. That's a thing men just go, oh, hell, she's crazy.
Well, yeah.
But when you tweet Pizzagate, I think we're all in a safe zone.
Well, it don't matter if girl, boy... that don't have nothing to do with crazy. Crazy is crazy, yeah.
We're all in a safe zone unless you work at the pizza place. I don't get... So Roseanne was always a liberal show. They were always pushing their liberal politics, and now they got Roseanne I guess because the real Roseanne likes Trump, they live in, Trump land.
Right.
Where everybody likes Trump, like the people here that throw cans at Jackie.
They don't throw cans at me. That part's
I
made
don't
up.
know if people throw cans at Darlene or Jackie on Roseanne, but here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, they sure as hell throw cans at Jackie.
They do not.
Wait, it's her Jackie.
Huh?
And Roseanne's sister named Jackie.
Something like that. It's been years. I used to watching it. It was on years and years ago, but I can't half remember. She was funny.
I think the point of the show and what everybody's trying to get across about the show is on the show, they all love each other, even though Roseanne voted for internment camps for half her family.
I don't know why I should do that. That don't make any sense to me. Is it funny? Is it supposed to be funny? If it's funny, then it still don't seem funny to me. But I don't know if that's what they're trying to do on it.
But Roseanne, sometimes it wasn't even funny when it was. Wasn't there a lot of like real serious episodes?
I think I mean like MASH, except there wasn't no war going on. MASH used to be funny, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't funny no more. It was funny every now and then. Funny when Klinger dressed up. Remember Klinger dressed up like a woman? You remember that?
You can't do that anymore.
Well, he quit doing it on the show and it got serious. That's when it changed. It was still good, but I mean, it was serious. So MASH was serious. It used to be funny, and then we're in a war.
That'd be funny if Klinger showed up on New Roseanne.
He's still alive, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Well, yeah, I like him. Yeah, he's funny. He don't have to dress. He don't have to dress up like a woman to be funny. He don't have to. He's funny, in regular fatigues.
I don't want to be too hard on the New Roseanne show. We're all trying to make our way in this world. It just seems a little maybe dishonest. Also, you have a rich, crazy person who tweeted a bunch of nonsense bullshit, hurtful, harmful bullshit. And then they make a show built around her liking Trump because she's crazy, out of touch, take her rich money, live, and just tweet stupid bullshit, kind of like Trump. But they make it about jobs on the show. I like jobs. Is that sexist? I don't know. This is complicated.
I ain't seen the show.
No, we ain't seen it.
I ain't watched it. It ain't because I ain't going or anything like that. It just said, it wasn't because, by God, I ain't watching that. It's just because, I
ain't going to watch a show where they try to talk and get along.
No, it's not that.
Fuck them.
Hey, watch your mouth. I don't want to hear it.
People get mad at us on this show because Jackie, longtime conservative, Republican, right-winger, Obama basher, Clinton despiser.
Yeah.
Who wound up endorsing Hillary Clinton in 2016.
I ain't having a choice. Put me in that position.
But to say that there's no way Jackie would ever not like Trump doesn't make sense to me because who would like Trump? So you take a beloved TV icon like Roseanne from a TV show Roseanne, not like real life Roseanne, and you make her like Trump. To me, that's a leap. There's no way in this world that this man who I've known since I'd go over to his garage and stuff cotton in them Huggy dolls.
What?
Oh, no, shit. That wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me.
I don't know why I keep thinking of that.
No.
There's no way that this man is ever going to like anybody like Donald Trump.
No.
Donald Trump is loathsome.
He's a terrible human being. Why would I even give him
He's the worst of America.
We elected the absolute worst human being to be president of the United States. I say we as a country. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I sure as hell didn't do it.
What about Jackie makes you think that he would ever like him, except for the part where he makes liberals mad? Because that I can see.
Well, it used to be funny, and that ain't even funny to me. Like when he was running for president, we was all laughing. Everybody's laughing. It's
funny.
the funniest thing I ever seen. And then the SOB won. It ain't so funny no more. except the people like, again, who's enjoying, he's doing the same stuff. So everybody was laughing at him when he was running for president. Everybody was, but people were laughing at him evidently for two different damn reasons. And now half of the people are still laughing, and the rest of us are losing our damn mind.
Let's talk about other TV things we can get mad at. You got Roseanne.
Yeah.
Our theme this week, folks, if you're a new listener, our theme this week is mad at TV.
Is that what it is?
Everybody's mad at Roseanne.
We didn't discuss about it. Wait, what do you mean mad at it? We was wanting to hug everyone on it a little while ago. Now we're mad.
Well, some people love Roseanne and want to hug her, and some people are mad.
Well, don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's what I say. I don't know.
Some people love Laura Ingraham and want to hug. I'm not.
Yeah.
Some people love Laura Ingraham, and some people are mad. Boycott Laura Ingraham.
I ain't Laura Ingraham mad right now, too. Probably.
She got mad. Well, her job is to be mad.
Well, that's what she gets paid for.
She works for the Mad Station, the TV network that's a job it is to make people mad.
And that's what don't make any sense. Their guy won. What are they mad about? They're furious. You control the House and the Senate, and they're madder than they've ever been on that station.
I tell you what, if they kick Trump out of office, if Republicans lose a House or they lose a Senate, and Democrats start getting, that will be the best thing ever happened to Fox
Well, that's
News.
what they did. That's the reason it's confusing times, because, we had Obama for 8 years mad at that,
I don't know if they really want Trump to stick around because their ratings will go through the roof. Same thing for the NRA. Of course, they get actual real-life shooting. So even when Obama gets out of office, luckily, they've primed the pump enough. And it's not about guns. We have the Red State Update position on guns. It's very clear. Jackie, what's the Red State Update? What is the Jackie Broles theory on guns?
I think everybody as an American citizen should own a shotgun and a pistol. That's it.
You're forced to, as an American citizen.
Even if you don't want it, you got to have one. You got to sign up. You're going to come get it. Now, if you don't like it, put it in the lockbox, put your gun in the gun safe, put it up. But you still got it. You're responsible for it.
You can go to class if you want to. Maybe you should have to go to class.
I think probably people should probably go to class and learn how to do it, and just in case, hopefully don't ever have to use a gun for self-defense.
There
but some people may have to.
There can still be workplace shootings, obviously.
Well, that's what happened. Now that YouTube's got shot up. We used to work for them years ago.
Did we work for them?
Had something to do with them. I don't know what it was.
I'm not sure either.
But anyhow, a person went in there and was shooting things up, and I saw people. Some NRA people were saying, I bet all you liberals are sure hating the fact that they didn't use the AR-15 in this one, because that's a gun you hate so much, all that, Well, no, I don't think that's the case. First off, I ain't a liberal, but the liberal would be saying, thank God she didn't have one, and I agree with them on this, because she would have shot twice as many damn people. So, no, there ain't nobody mad about that.
Are you sure you're not a liberal?
No. I agree with them on the AR, the weapons of war, whatever you want to call them. Citizens don't need them. I don't see why we need them. And I know people that have them like to go in the backyard, shoot everything up. I understand it's a good time. But maybe, would you be willing to give that up so we don't have to get more children killed?
I'm telling you, NRA is going to fuck shit up too. It's like Trump. By the time NRA has been winning for a long time, and if they had just pulled back a little bit, but they just took it too far, and by the end of this, they are going to fuck shit up. If I was wanting to get into the money-making lobby gun machine business, I'd start an alternative to the NRA. Maybe there is one, but the NRA, it just seems like worthless,
I don't know what they did. And these children did it. They did one, and that's the children took down the Laura Ingraham woman. She got in a fight, 54-year-old woman.
How do you know how old Laura Ingraham is?
Because everybody was talking about it. They said how old she was. She's 54 years old. You should know better than to say something like that.
Do not get in a fight with a teenager, because they will put your age all over their television.
It ain't even about you shouldn't do it or whatnot. There's no reason.
What's her sign?
Her what?
When was she born? What's her star sign?
I don't know that. I know she's a 54-year-old woman. Should know better. Should be doing something else besides fighting. Unless it's your daughter or son or whatever, then that's a situation that you have to deal with personally.
You have to
fight.
Like a Roseanne.
You have to fight. Yeah, well, damn. But other than that, get on Twitter twatters, whatever it is, and yell at a boy just got shot up, And I know people mad at this young man because he ain't backing down to nothing, and why people don't like him. People get mad at teenagers telling you what to do, especially if say you in your mid-50s and you're a gun owner. The last thing you want is this young man saying whatever.
This is how much Jackie hates Trump. He is now on the side of teenagers.
Well, I ain't necessarily on anybody's side. I just don't think you need to have. I told you, I don't know if a teenager will get along with my deal or not. I don't know if they all going to have a pistol and a shotgun, but that's how I believe it should be done. But I don't. All these army weapons and military weapons, nobody needs. There ain't no reason to have them.
So David Hogg calls for a boycott. Laura Ingraham sort of apologizes that she goes on vacation and clear backpacks.
She went on vacation. That's what happened to Bill O'Reilly. Remember, he went on vacation. He never come back from that.
You don't want to take a vacation. Listen, if you are getting talked about on Twitter, if you work for Fox News and you're getting talked about a lot, if you're trending on Twitter and it's not because of bots, and you're scheduled for a vacation, cancel it. Because nothing good's going to happen. You're going to come back and Shepard Smith's going to have a third office. He went on vacation, but he come back.
He back, yeah. What he got in the fight with old Hannity. That's what he went on vacation. He got in the fight. Or Hannity said something about him. Hannity also said there's going to be a civil war if Mueller does whatever. What did he say? Red button. If Mueller hits a red button, whatever the hell that means, there's going to be a civil war in this country. Maybe he's right. Hell, I don't know. Sound like he wants it, though, is what I'm saying. He's ready for it. He was going to be like a general on his side when it happens. He's ready to. Yeah, I'm sure he's designing.
He ain't getting on no horse.
Well, he better not. Yeah.
Can you imagine Sean Hannity doing anything other than they don't want civil war. They want people to be scared and mad. That's all anybody wants. Click on a thing because you're mad. That's everybody. Click on this thing.
That's both sides, yeah.
Let me get on Twitter and say a thing in 17 parts. Well, make people mad, and then I can say block. I blocked you. Is this the real world? I don't know anymore. I blocked him a long time ago. What the fuck?
Watch your mouth. The only thing these people, the only way they know if they're doing their job right is if everybody's mad at them. Because you got to say stuff like, let's have a civil war or whatever. Ann Coulter says, you have to say, Laura Ingraham, same thing, have to say horrible, horrible things in order for anybody to pay attention to you, because that's what people want you to do. But she took it too far, started arguing with the teenager about it. Didn't have nothing to do with guns. Didn't have nothing to do. Just if you want to have a gun debate, I'm willing to listen to both sides. But if you just go after teenagers.
Look, that side has to say things to make people so mad that the other side gets mad at them and also watches their stuff. And then so they have to do stuff to make the other side mad. And they go back and forth. Sometimes things go too far, and I don't know how. These kids are kind of magic because, like regular people who aren't just mad all the time, don't think it's weird when adults yell at kids who are from shot school.
Yep.
So, perception-wise, it's weird. I don't know how things get through, because usually it's just yelling and clicking and blocking. But every once in a while, something sticks.
It's these children. I don't know what,
It's usually when people seem to actually be hurt. When people who are oppressed, marginalized people that maybe might be scared to walk into Gentleman Jim's too for a number of reasons.
That's a local
Local bar here.
Local bar here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, yeah.
When things start getting rough for some of those people, this is a good sign, I think. That's usually when people get boycotts that stick. Like a lot of people say, well, we're going to boycott the people that boycott Laura Ingraham. Nobody cares about those people. They didn't do anything. The My Pillow guy said, I ain't dropping, but like nobody. But the one where they boycotted her for getting mad at the teenager, that actually worked somehow.
Yeah. Well, she's on vacation. They did that much to her, so we'll see if she ever come back from it.
So that's a tricky job. I wouldn't want to be Sean Hannity trying to figure out how to make people mad and be offensive and say the worst shit and applaud President Trump and kiss his ass constantly without breaking through to where you lose your sponsors.
Yeah.
Didn't he lose a bunch of sponsors? Who sponsors him now?
Hell, I don't know.
Do people just wait for things to blow over?
He going to have a Page of Jones pretty soon. That's how everybody's going to be able to. Only way people are going to be able to make any kind of money because ain't nobody going to put advertising on it. Now, I don't necessarily agree with boycotts, but people saying these overstepping of bounds or whatnot. You know, it's a capitalist society. You can do whatever the hell you want to with your money, and you can tell whoever you want to what you're going to do with your money. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's American. You know, that's what. So whether you're on that side or not, that's how money works.
You ever boycotted anybody?
No, I ain't ever boycotted him.
You never marched or boycotted or?
No, I ain't ever done it. In my younger days, I maybe didn't understand things as well as I do now. Probably should have been in a few marches that I didn't at the time. But that was then. This is now.
The Monkees.
What?
The Monkees.
The Monkees. What?
The Monkees comeback song was then. This is now.
Who is the song? What?
The Monkees.
Monkey song.
You remember the Monkees? Here they come.
No, hell, I didn't know. That's the Beatles.
Walking down us, that's the Monkees.
Same thing. It's on TV, yeah. Haircut.
Speaking of TV, Sinclair Broadcasting. Is this going to matter, or is this just something to make liberals mad? Is this just something that cuts together into a nice supercut to really blow liberals' minds? Hey, I think we can get on John Oliver with this and keep cutting. Or is it going to make a difference? Are there laws going to get passed? Or take some of these stations away from this capitalist society? Cannot this giant corporation buy up a bunch of fucking local...
Hey, watch your mouth.
Shit town stumpwater stations and make them repeat an oath to Donald Trump like the worst Green Lanterns?
Here's the thing about that now. How do you feel about that free speech democracy? I know people get all crazy about it. Who are they Are they going to convince somebody? Was there somebody who does not like Trump that heard them say that on any of those stations across the country that suddenly come up and said, you know what? I'm with the president now. Hell no. Everybody's already where they're at. There ain't nobody thinking about which side of this anymore. That's over with. So they're preaching to the choir or they weren't. Period.
But that's confusion, right? They're just sowing confusion.
Well, who ain't
media,
confused?
Fake media. So here's a TV station saying, we got to watch out for the fake media. And you think, oh, yeah, this station. They're the ones that tell the truth. Maybe you hate Trump and you saw that. Maybe you think that they're the anti-Trump station. And maybe it takes you a couple of years of believing they're hogwash. Yeah, I said hogwash. And about 2 years later, just because you weren't on Twitter for a couple of weeks, you're like, fuck, this whole time.
Watch your mouth.
They've been pro-Trump. He's in jail, and I've still been listening to these motherfuckers.
Watch your mouth. I hear it.
So that's the news and TV. Roseanne Sinclair, Laura Ingraham, David Hogg, the president is mad at Amazon.com.
Well, he don't like a man that runs it, right?
We're in a trade war with China. The stock market is all over the place.
The trade war is supposed to hurt a lot of Trump countries, supposedly. I heard, and I don't know if I've seen the proof of it yet.
They don't give a shit.
I know what the people were saying. Oh, they're when they've, that's what people are saying. They're sitting there going, oh, when it hurts him in Trump country, then they'll come around. He said it when he was running what he was going to do. He said tariffs or trade war. He said it over and over again. So any of the people that voted for him, if they are suddenly, you knew what you were voting for. He said he was going to do it. He's doing what he said.
Nobody gives a shit about that.
Well, that's
People
true.
want him to make liberals mad.
Well, we just said anything he says don't make a damn bit of sense anyway, so there ain't nothing to trust. The fact that he's doing something he says he's going to do don't mean a whole lot because he'll change his mind tomorrow for all we know.
When he said, I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue, that's funny to most of America, somebody in New York getting shot. But it wouldn't have mattered if he'd said, what's the name? Give me a nice Midwestern name.
Huh?
Give me the name of somebody in the Midwest.
Somebody in the Midwest?
Yeah, just a nice Midwestern name.
I don't know anybody in the
Midwest.
Midwest.
Just pick a name out. Like
Teddy?
Teddy? Okay. What's the last name, though?
I don't know.
Maybe like Scandinavian descent, like maybe they're like a Midwestern. I don't want to say Garrison Keillor's name because I don't want to ruin everything. But
I don't know any last name.
And in our defense, would have ruined things even before that.
Savalas.
Stuff come out on him.
Savalas.
Teddy Savalas. All right, so Teddy Savalas is watching this, drinking a beer. He come home. He got a coal mine in the middle of a wheat field, surrounded by steel girders. He's wearing a hard hat and overalls.
Yeah.
Drinking beer, watching Donald Trump laughing, going, this is going to be, when he wins, whoo. And Donald Trump says, I can shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue. It wouldn't matter. And he goes, yeah, that's right. And then Donald Trump turns to the camera and says, I could shoot you, Teddy Savalas. And Teddy Savalas goes, yeah, you could. Donald Trump says, I'll shoot your wife and your kids and your dogs. I'll set fire to your house. Do you have grandkids? I'll shoot them too.
Yeah.
And Teddy Savalas goes, this motherfucker is funny as fuck.
Your mouth.
We're going to build a wall. We're going to go to trade war with China. We are going to kill my family. We're going to make a bunch of liberals mad. It's going to be tip-top. I cannot wait to make America great again. This wheat field coal mine steel girder is going to run red with the blood of my family. I mean, basically, if the health care goes, if trade war happens, if worst case scenarios, but without nuclear war, I mean, it's going to be about the same as him just going down there and shooting that dude's dog.
Well, you got a point there. You just don't need the language when you tell it.
Anything else you want to talk about in the news, Jackie?
I don't want to talk about any of it, really. I know that's what we're supposed to do on here, but all it does is irritate me, so I don't know.
Mueller's got pulling over planes at the airport to interrogate Russian oligarchs and go through their phone.
That's pretty funny.
You think he's just looking for, because if there is a P-tape, a Donald Trump P-tape, you know them Russian oligarchs
passing around,
been texting it to each other.
I didn't think about that, yeah.
You know there's gifts.
He might be looking for that PP video.
Can you imagine Mueller sitting on a runway somewhere, a bunch of people cussing with dead snake eyes in Russian, and Mueller's just thumbing through their phone until he finds Donald Trump P-tape? Can you imagine Mueller's sickened face? Mueller's probably seen it already. If it exists, Mueller has seen it already.
Probably has, yeah.
How do these Russians, now the Russians are tough customers. They've been through some shit. They starved and fought in the snow and they fought their own revolutions and just mass murders and wars and freezing and alcoholism. And I will guarantee you that Donald Trump P-tape's got to be the worst thing they've ever been through.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, they'd be texting each other, having a fun time. I think it shook them to their core. I think that's why we can't get a read on what's happening over there. They're killing people with nerve gas. They kill people with nerve gas, and I guarantee you the nerve gas killer is like, I do not want to see that. Don't show it to me. Did you not just, gas an orphanage? Yeah, I gassed an orphanage, and I don't want to see Donald Trump's dick.
Hey.
Yes, I gassed an orphanage. I don't want to see him getting peed on.
Hey.
Or watching pee.
All right. Enough. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, I'm a monster. But I'm not that big of a monster. Comrade. Anything else? Said Trump's not a target, not a criminal target. Is he not a criminal target, not the target of a criminal investigation? Or not a criminal target? Because if he's not the target of an investigation, that could just mean they don't have to investigate because, we can just watch clips from CNN of what happened.
Yeah.
On Fox. He called up Fox and just said what he did. I don't see why. Maybe it just means there's no investigation.
That could be the case, yeah. I hate what you were saying about Russia. That's one thing we didn't talk about. He invited Putin to the White House, wants him to come over and spend some time with him.
I think he should just get Putin, Kim Jong-un, the little Philippines dictator guy who wants to kill all the drug dealers. He should just assemble his end of the Justice League, because we're not going to get that movie. We're not going to see Lex Luthor get all the bad guys together for Zack Snyder. So even worse, let's see Donald Trump get all the bad guys together.
That's what he's trying to do. It looks like to me. That's who he wants to be buddies with.
I guess that's the news, Jackie. I don't know. I ain't got nothing else.
I ain't got nothing else either. I'm enough. That's plenty. I'm sure there's more. Yeah, the news is something every damn day. I can't.
We could do one of these every day.
On something new, yeah.
We got a lofty goal on our Patreon. And if we ever hit that, we're going to have to do this twice a week, Jackie.
That'll be too much as it is. But, with people paying good money for it and want it, they can have it, I guess. They can hear me get mad 2 times a week. Well, I'm Jackie Bro, still on here talking.
Folks, people, this is Dunlap. I am also still on here, also still talking. What do you want to talk about now?
Well, we got duties we got, things we got to take care of. If you got this
sacred podcast duties.
Well, first off, you do at the beginning, you ask for pages on and thank people, and then you have to do your sponsors.
That's right. At the beginning, that's thanking the people for helping us continue this podcast that is at the 60-minute mark just about.
Everybody's getting the extra 20 minutes this this time around, but then I guess people who are, everybody gets 20 minutes, and then some people get.
We just get so mad.
Extra 40 minutes.
We can't stop talking.
Yep.
So you wind up the beneficiary of our anger with all these extra minutes. Just sit in your driveway and enjoy them. Just let our voices wash over you like you was at the car wash. Imagine our voices are them pretty pastel multicolored soaps jizzing all over your windshield right now.
What are you talking about?
Your car's going to be clean.
Just shut your mouth. Let me do my sponsors. That's what we got time left to do it. Let's do it. I'm doing my sponsor.
What do you got against the car wash? You like a filthy, dirty car?
I don't got against a car wash. Car wash is fine. I got something against you running your mouth. That don't matter what it is you're talking about. I don't care about that. They said I don't want to hear it.
Touche, Jackie Bros.
Well,
touche.
And I got a good sponsor this week, and I'm excited, and I'm ready to get to it, and you sit there and talk about a damn car wash. I got something important to say. There's a lot of people going to be excited. Lord knows I'm excited, and I didn't even see Peter pump them up about this. I'm excited on my own.
You're so excited, you're talking exciting on your own without even having to see the excitement talk counselor.
Yeah.
Peter pump them up.
Yeah.
He used to come around to schools, get everybody pumped up.
He told me to start calling him that. He said, "Don't just."
You don't call him Peter Sternwood
Well,
anymore?
that's what I called him, and he said, "No, everybody needs a trademark or something like that." So he said, "No, please, Jackie." He heard one of these. He said, "No, call me Peter. Pump him up."
I'd be interested in how an excitement counselor who teaches people how to speak about depressing subjects excitedly, what he thought about our podcast.
Huh? That's all he said about it. He just said, "No, you call me Peter. You call me. I want to be called Peter."
Did he mention me, like my podcast?
No.
Like, did he say, "Oh, y'all got the skills that pay the bills"?
No, he just said, "Please say my name." I don't know. Didn't know if he listened to the whole thing. I think somebody could have told him that I was calling Mr. Sternwood, Peter Sternwood. That's his name. But he
People
said, "No."
probably don't listen to all.
He's
this.
what you call motivationals talker to get you excited, and he was at my place of business where I was working. He was helping me with that. But I'm telling you right now, this is pure excitement on its own.
But are you still screwed out of that by Piggy Piglet Stein Jr.?
What are you talking about?
You're Jackie's Markets.
Stay out of you. That's not your business. That's my business. That's my job. I don't want you talking about it on here anywhere else. You keep it to yourself.
Yeah, celebrities shouldn't have political opinions.
What it's got political about it. I just don't want to hear you talk about it. It don't matter whether
I'm an American citizen. It don't matter
right,
how
shut
famous
your
I
mouth.
am or
Just
how many
shut your mouth.
podcasts I'm on.
What? Just shut your mouth.
I have a right to my opinion.
Yeah.
And that opinion is that you got screwed out of your
Well,
stores.
it don't matter what you think about it because you ain't got nothing to do with it. You can sit there and think all you want. Think into the wind.
I
till
will.
the cows come home.
I am.
And nobody gives a damn,
That's
especially
true.
me. Well, there you go. So that's all you got is that and nothing else. Just you and your dumb thinking. Nobody cares. Just shut your mouth. I'm trying to be excited about something. I ain't trying. I am excited. Just let me do my
This
damn
doesn't
sponsor.
seem that far afield from an obstacle that anyone trying to speak excitedly about a subject, especially a depressing or a controversial subject, might have to deal with. Someone arguing with them, getting them in their face, calling out their personal failings.
shut
It
up.
seems like Peter Pumpkin
Well,
should have addressed this
We're
in your
already
excitement
a
training.
damn hour into this, and I ain't done the sponsor. You sitting there talking about nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't
I'm
nobody
just
want to hear that.
saying
I've got business to take care of.
you should be able to handle me and keep your excitement level without getting so...
Nobody can handle you after a while if they sit here and listen to you all day. And then even after, I have to hear him when we ain't doing this, which is worse. At least this, I don't want, this.
This
for
I
a
do have
reason.
my charisma turned up to like 7.
I wouldn't say that. This is for a purpose. Other than that, it's just him running his mouth. It ain't for nothing. Nothing getting accomplished at all. At least this somebody for whatever reason wants to hear him run his mouth. But in real life, it's just like someone left a water faucet on and just wasting water. I don't.
Sometimes he'll tell me to shut up and I ain't even saying anything. I'm just standing there uncomfortably close, staring into the distance, letting things seep out of my body.
Well,
And he still thinks I'm talking.
I probably referring to, that yesterday when I had to hear it all day, I was too busy to tell you to shut up. Maybe that's it.
So you got to double up later.
There you go. Get used to it. I got a great sponsor. Some of you may know I got a new lease on life. Things are going good for me, and it's exciting to be a part of something. Everybody needs to be a part of something, whether it's in your community, your church, or your family, or something. Everybody needs to be part of something. Yeah, I guess I'm part of this podcast here, but that don't do nothing.
You are. You're part of the Red State Update family.
Well, that don't mean that. If it means something, it don't mean it to me. It's just what it is. But this here, what I'm about to talk about, is something else. Now, I'm currently dog wrangler for a lot of, let's just say, they're sick. They are sick. Let's just say a bunch of sick dogs, bless their hearts. But, most dogs like that, you just kick them to the curb, but somebody take them to go get them put down. I personally, if I could afford it, would take them to the vet and find out what's wrong with them and get them fixed. But I guess some people don't want to do that. But I tell you what, Mr. Victor Mileage helped me find these dogs a purpose for them, because all they were doing was sitting in my backyard and throwing up cold blood.
Folks, if you're a new listener, I don't even know where to get started with this. Jackie, there were some Dogs.
Don't say it. Don't start it. You start rumors. That's what people call them now.
I just want to give people a quick catch-up in case they're new listeners to this, Jackie.
Why? But just let me...
Because there's a lot of context here. You're leaving all the context out. What about the context?
What? The dogs are sick. I got...
Jackie, because of a crackdown by the local law enforcement that caused a lot of dogs to be confiscated because they were wearing gun harnesses.
Yeah. Which wasn't the dog's fault. That dogs weren't...
Oh, it's never the dog's fault.
Well, it shouldn't be. It isn't, no.
Then these dogs were returned, but they were haunted. There was something wrong with them. They've been possessed by the devil.
People start saying that. There's something weird
If you
about
don't like the term the devil, I can say Satan or Beelzebub
don't start
or Lucifer
all that.
or
Don't,
Old Scratch.
Just don't. These dogs are...
His infernal majesty, whatever you want me to say.
Real life is stranger than fiction. We'll just say it that way because if you believed in that sort of stuff... I mean,
you don't believe in the devil
now? I believe
now?
in the devil. You say haunted. You think ghost and stuff like that. I believe in the devil. I think the devil's out there doing tricks, but I don't know.
Can the devil haunt you? What if my house is haunted? It's like, no, that's Satan.
Devil possesses you. Devil don't haunt. Ghost haunt. Devil gets possessed. Well, Catholics believe that. I don't believe that stuff.
Jackie has a long-running beef with the local.
Well, I don't. I bet
Murfreesboro Catholics.
I got a priest right now living in my backyard. Bless his heart. He's helping clean up with the dogs too. So I don't know why Catholics, out of the kindness of my heart, are giving this man a place to stay. He got a tent.
They excommunicated him. Now he's their enemy.
Well, he still thinks he's Catholic. I guess whatever they say. So don't say I hate all Catholic. That ain't the truth.
This is the priest that brought the priest dog into your yard to perform an exorcism on all the haunted dogs.
At that point, I don't believe in that sort of stuff, but I was just like, give it a shot. Hell, because things were so strange in dealing with these animals, and I thought, it can't hurt nothing. But it turns out he's living there in the backyard now, and the other dogs with the rest of them.
It's a long story, folks. I recommend you go back a few episodes and start listening.
I don't...
Around January, the beginning of January.
Don't be saying I don't like Catholics. That's not the truth here in Catholic Town. I don't like the Catholics that molest children. I don't like any of them.
No, yeah.
Make that clear right now.
Sure.
So it's not just a blanket statement. I don't like them at all. But and the liberal Pope, I ain't too crazy about, but so be it. At least he ain't doing the other. That's better. Anything better than that, first off.
That's true. Just about anything better. I mean, I don't want to say what is and isn't better. Let's not get into...
Well, those are the ones I don't like, the priests that do that. That's all I'm saying, and they're Catholic, so there. But there's plenty of Catholics that don't do it, and their beliefs are strange and don't make any sense.
Forget the Catholics. The point is, Jackie had a bunch of dogs living in his yard, and he and a excommunicated priest who owned a priest dog were having to scoop up dog shit and dog blood that they vomited up, ice cold Satan blood. They would wake up every morning at 3:17 a.m., 2 minutes past Amityville Horror Time, stare southeast, fires of hell reflected in their eyes. Folks, that's devil dogs. Jackie had them in his yard.
No.
He was forced to take care of them because the police dropped them off there. People brought their devil dogs back to him and said, I don't want this no more. The healthy dogs that he was playing with in the giant house with the windows at Dogs for Jack, 4 dogs for Jack. Jackie's for dogs. Dogs for Jackies. Those
Ranger, Barker, and
Zesta.
Zesta's friend, yeah.
And now he can't even see them because they are still not possessed or haunted.
Well, I ain't talking about those dogs. God bless those dogs.
He was doing this on his own. He was stuck with it, and now all of a sudden he's excited about doing the same thing he was doing for free. Plus driving. Plus gas money out of his own pocket.
Well, if you committed to a performance and a show, he's found this man, Victor Mileage. He's a, what do you call it, theater director, artist, or whatever you want to call it, producer. He's putting on a show.
You can be 3 things.
And he wanted all these dogs. These dogs were doing nothing but just staring off at, in the middle of the night and puking up cold blood almost every other hour or something like that. And God bless their souls. You know, what's wrong with these dogs? Most people wouldn't want them near. Well, most people didn't. That's why they dumped them in my backyard. But Victor Mileage come back in and said, I want every one of them dogs. I said, do you? He said, yeah, I do. And I said, well, why the hell you want every one of them for? Because they're going to be a part of a production of a wonderful show. It is a story of Junior Samples, Southern comedian of Hee Haw fame. It's a show about his life. It's called A Loud Wet Heart. And let me tell you what, these dogs are in it, and they're learning their part. Because, see, Junior Samples wanted to be a veterinarian, and then, he was
We don't know that for sure.
Well,
I think that's some dramatic license
it
Victor
may
Mileage
be.
took with my idea for the
shut up.
Junior
Shut up.
Samples.
Shut up.
He Duffer brothered me.
Shut up. So, it may be a dramatic license, but, what adds to the story. Because Junior Samples, him just telling stories is enough. But, it's a musical, too. There's songs in it. It's about his life. And this part, he was concerned about, I won't be a veterinarian, but the show business is calling me. I can't, I need to go on stage, or do I need to save these dogs? And that's what these dogs come in, and they're playing this part of sick dogs, and they're doing a good job. And I'm excited about this, just to be a part of it. I'm official dog wrangler on this production of A Loud Wet Heart, story of Junior Samples. The songs are good. They're coming up. They're still adding new songs at this point. I thought you couldn't do that because they're trying to get this up on its feet. It ain't opened yet. The show hadn't opened yet. But they're still writing new songs, and they're all good. I just hum them and sing them to myself when I'm sitting there listening to them. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a hell of a show. Let me tell you something about this now. We weren't quite sure who was going to play the lead role. There was somebody local here. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, who had been reading for it and been helping through the, the rehearsals or whatnot. But it's already a sure thing when you have the life story of Junior Samples. Everybody wants to give you the money right off the bat. Everybody wants to spend a couple hours of Junior Samples in a theater. Everybody wants to be there. But I tell you what, you won't believe, a local, let's just say local musician here in these parts, heard about this show. Victor Mileage knows somebody that knows somebody, got in touch with him, and now he's driving down here too and starting rehearsals, and it looks like right now he is going to be the star of A Loud Wet Heart, the story of Junior Samples. You ain't going to believe this. I ain't nothing to do but say it. Mr. Vince Gill. And I tell you what, some people think, Vince Gill, you put overalls on him. He's come in, they did the costume fitting or whatever, and they're making him look just like Junior Samples. They are. And he does. I know you do a good Junior Samples. I've heard you, you've done a good one, but I'm telling you right now, Vince Gill, and I don't mean to hurt your feelings, that may just be because, he's show business, knows a little thing here and there, know how to say, but he is Junior Samples, and his singing voice is as beautiful as it ever was. So when this opens up, it's going to be something. And I want to see it. I'm just seeing the bits and pieces and them trying to get it together. There's a whole section I missed when I got to load the dogs back up in the truck before I run them home. So I'm missing some of it. And so when I'm going to see it for the first time, I'll tell you what, I'm just excited.
Is that a spoiler that the dogs leave before the show's over?
Well, they're not in through the whole show. They have a scene in the show. What do you mean? They're supposed to be there for the whole...
You said you're missing some of it.
The dogs don't take a curtain call.
Oh, why not? In Annie, the dog always runs out.
That's Annie. That's something else. You got all those kids out. These dogs, trust me, the dogs are doing just what they need to do in this show. And I'm excited for it. And
are you having to mop up all the blood?
Well, yeah, you can't leave it there for Vince Gill to come out and slip and slide all over stage, can you? No, you got to clean it up.
I don't give a shit if you fall.
Well, watch your mouth. A lot of people like Vince Gill, including myself, don't even
used to
make a joke like that.
I used to.
Well, we thought that was more than enough to just get everybody in the seats and to bring this experience to the community of the world. Take this to Broadway, I hope. I don't know about that. I couldn't take the dog back and forth Broadway. That ain't going to happen.
Would you live in New York City in
Hell no, ain't this
studio apartment with 17 Satan dogs?
I'll just be proud that I was with the show when it started. Of course, I ain't going to go to New York. But just to say that when that's a big hit up in Broadway, say, yep, I was there at the beginning. That'll be enough for me, and that's a lot. And I tell you what, as if this ain't enough, people going to say, well, this is nepotism. Well, you know what it is, and I ain't got a problem with that, because Miss Amy Grant herself is also going to be in A Loud Wet Heart with her husband, Mr. Vince Gill, telling the story of Junior Samples. And tell me that ain't something to be excited about. You just tell me it ain't, because I'm thrilled. I'm pleasure punch. I can't even express it in the words.
Who does she play in the Junior Samples?
Well, she plays herself. There wasn't a role for her, but she was there, and he loved the show so much, and got to talk with Victor Mileage, and they worked it out. She's playing herself when she was a little girl watching Hee Haw, watching Junior Samples.
So you're telling me, is she there the whole time like a stage manager from our town?
She's off to the side, yeah. She's just sitting there watching and loving every minute of it.
Amy Grant is in this show.
When he gets on Hee Haw, she ain't watching him.
In pigtails and a nightgown.
She's like dressed up like her, how old she was when she watched it. Like, she like a little girl, clothes, I guess. Yeah, she's playing a little girl. So, yeah, that's what she dressed like. Yeah.
Okay, I'll allow it.
What do you mean you allow it? You ain't got nothing to do with it. But she loved Junior Samples, and obviously she loved Vince Gill. We all know that. And Victor Miles said, well, if you want to be a part of this, you don't say another word. We're going to figure this out. And they got together.
He is an artist.
In the corner and figured this out. And you just going to play
right
yourself.
Right there on the spot.
Yep.
Figured it out. Like,
yep.
You got a barrette? Put your hair up real quick.
That was it. These are creative people. That's what they do.
Does she have a song? Or does she just sit there and watch TV through the whole thing?
She don't have a song. She ain't in. She's playing herself. Now, if they wanted to add her singing a song like I Love Heat, which, like I said, they're still adding
I'd like to
songs.
Listen, if I may, even though I've been ripped off, I'd like to see Amy Grant sing a song as young Amy Grant, talking about how much she loves Hee Haw, skipping around the stage in her socks.
Junior Samples in particular, she didn't necessarily like the rest of it. She just liked him.
Oh, that's getting complicated. Okay.
Well, she was just being honest. She said, do you watch Hee Haw? She went, but Junior Samples, she didn't like, the songs and some of the other stuff on there. That's what she said, but she loved Junior Samples.
Well, I'm glad you're proud of your friends who ripped me off and stole my show idea.
Nobody ripped you off, stole you. You
How
tried to
does
put
Vince Gill-
You tried to put sexy stuff in your Junior Sample show. See, you had it made. You were going to play Junior Samples. You would have been good. Not near as good as Vince Gill. Wouldn't even be close to being as good as him. He sure as hell can't sing as good as him. These songs going to sound a lot better coming out of his voice. I'll tell you that right now. But you could have been, and then you said, I want to add sex stuff to Junior Samples.
That came from Victor Mileage's disease.
Well, you still were holding on to it when he wised up and
once
realized.
I get hold of a great concept, I'm not going to throw it in the trash.
Oh, hell. Well, he did because he knew better. He got to thinking twice about that and then decided, no, sir.
I heard in my research, not to derail this, but in my research I'm doing constantly, I was listening to some old Junior Samples records, and there's a record, and it is probably the most uncomfortable thing I've ever heard, where Ralph Emery is talking to Junior Samples, and Ralph Emery says, Junior, let's talk about your sex life. And
what?
He's like, well, I ain't gonna talk about it on here. And he's like, well, I just mean, what do you mean by that? Like, what, do you see a sexy woman walking down the street? How do you, I just,
What?
it's off. Look it up. I forget what. Just go to Spotify.
No, I don't know what that is.
Type in Junior Samples sex. And what you're going to get is Ralph Emery talking to Junior Samples about sex. It turns into like,
what?
They're talking about, do you ever get any love letters from fans? And my wife, my cousin Roy, I look at them all, and he says the ones my wife can see. What do you do about the ones your wife can't see? I throw them in the fire. I don't know what he... But listen, that's not that far from the truth. So don't come to me and say that I'm the pervert. Oh, I'm Mr. Sodom and Gomorrah Hollywood trying to sex up Junior Samples. Because Ralph Emery was doing it years ago.
Ralph Emery is not putting on a show.
He's a pervert who thinks about Junior Samples.
All right. Watch your mouth. I ain't gonna hear the language.
And I'm here to tell you.
Well, that's the reason. Bros. That's the reason. Everything you just said, whether Ralph Emery is involved or not, that kind of language is why you are not playing Junior Samples and Vince Gill is.
Listen, art is about connecting with the regular people, the average Joe. So I'm sitting here telling you that Victor Mileage, me, and Ralph Emery have all wondered about Junior Samples' sex life.
No.
So when I want to...
Regular people do not wonder about Junior Samples' sex life. They don't.
All I wanted was an important scene about him losing his virginity so we could see how that affected the rest of his life.
No. No one wants that. And if he was alive, he would say right now he doesn't want it. That's not what he did. He didn't work blue. He didn't do anything.
You're putting Junior Samples in a box.
What
Junior
box?
Samples don't want to be in a box. A sexless box.
All right, just...
Junior Samples wants to be in a box with sex in it. Like we all do.
No.
Well, Jackie, who's your sponsor?
I said it over and over.
The whole
Loud, Wet Heart.
Right.
The store, Junior Samples, starring Vince Gill, co-starring Amy Grant, and you'll see a nice little, I'd even say a little more cameo of all my dogs. Not my dogs, but dogs I'm in charge of.
Who owns these dogs now?
Victor Mileage is going to have to figure that out, I guess. I'm just...
How does Vince Gill get his big fat Cadillac?
All right.
Through the secret paths and nooks and crannies, through the rocks and the woods and the deep, dark forest to find Numpo Town. You have to find the map, and you have to go...
First, smarty Alec, he don't drive his big Cadillac back there. They come on a helicopter.
Vince Gill's got a helicopter?
I don't know if it's his. Somebody brings it, him and Amy Grant in it. It ain't him flying it himself. He got somebody to fly.
Is he an EMT also? So they chopper Vince Gill into Numpo Town.
People, expensive celebrity with money, that's like taking a taxi cab. That ain't nothing. You make a big deal out of it. That's how he gets here. If he's busy in Nashville. If he had time, maybe he would drive, but he got to fly down, comes to rehearse, and they flying back.
Is there that much money in this Sniffy Smuff theme park that my daddy's able to afford a helicopter to pay for Victor Mileage's star fucking helicopter?
All right, watch your mouth.
Have you seen my daddy up there? Have you seen him?
I kind of waved at him. I don't know if he recognized me, to be honest. I'm busy with these dogs, first off. I ain't there to visit. That would be
a handful, I imagine.
I ain't there to visit and hobnob or anything like that. I'm there to look after the dogs. That's my job. I'm there to do my job. But, yeah, I saw him coming out of somewhere and walking in another plate, and I waved at him. He kind of looked at me funny, so I don't know what kind of shape.
Did he have that axe?
I don't know what kind of shape he's in. I didn't see no axe with him that time.
He's always got an axe on the cover of the Dunlap Town Gazette these days.
Yeah.
Folks, I could give you the backstory on all this, but let's face it, we're at an hour 23, and we need to speed things along.
Yep.
Jackie?
What?
I've got a sponsor this week that I think you can shove right up your ass.
All right. Don't talk that language to me. I'm not going to sit and listen to it.
First of all, my sponsor, Dodge's Tater Logs. I'm still working at Dodge's. Mr. Dodge thinks I'm spending too much time writing my Junior Sample songs as a young, hungry New York playwright working at the deli or the Dodge's Tater Log store. Go down to the Dodge's Tater Log. You're going to want to stuff a few of these in your mouth. Flaky, salty, greasy. Probably the best thing you've ever put in your mouth. I mean, it depends on how your life's been. That's the Dodge's Tater Logs. Go down there, Dodge's Tater Log. Jackie, I was not surprised when you told me that Vince freaking Gill
That's it.
was coming into the show that ripped off my lifelong dream of making a Junior Samples musical. I was not even surprised when you told me that Amy Grant in Pigtails was going to be playing herself in this show. You see, Jackie, I have a little thing called friends. And all I have to do is get on a phone and call a series of people who will patch me through to the Dunlaptown Gazette, where the gossip columnist plants items in the next day's paper that I can read when I'm on my break from Dodge's store. So I guess you could say that I'm plugged in. And I knew that Vince Gill had been spotted and that Amy Grant had been spotted and that Vince Gill would be a perfect Junior Samples. My only regret is that I didn't think of it in time to rip off Victor Mileage.
Wow.
Preemptively. So I had to do it retroactively.
You're
so,
full
folks,
of full of bull.
I don't have a venue. I don't have a finished script. But we're still workshopping it in the big house with all the windows with Zesta Barkey, Ranger, Zesta's friend, the Jackie impersonator. Raggedy Andy Bilkins has come over to my side now, still doing some nude interpretive dance and also mopping.
Nude? What? There ain't no naked in Junior Samples. I don't know what you doing.
This is the way Junior Samples sees himself and how he expresses
No.
himself
No.
in the dream time.
No.
So maybe I don't have Vince Gill
You don't.
in BR5 for me, formerly known as. Maybe I don't have Amy Grant.
You don't.
But I've got Boyden Dilltip.
Who?
Boyden Dilltip, Vince Gill impersonator.
What?
I've got Mirabella Genesee, our old friend and former prostitute.
Hey, she wasn't a. She was a entertainer, wasn't she?
She's a Tanya Tucker impersonator.
That's right. Yeah, she wasn't. Was
So
she?
her Amy Grant is she's sort of doing Tanya Tucker impersonating Amy Grant. Look,
What?
nobody thought Hamilton would be a success. Did they?
What is it?
I've still got Cindy Hatchett down there helping us work out the kinks from the drama teacher from the school, but like the youngest one. I mean, she's still kind of old because she went back to get her degree, but she's still the only one that was interested in helping with this. And we got together and we got in a corner, Jackie. And we said, we're going to go to war, we're going to go to theater war with Victor Mileage.
Oh, hell.
We need to pick the new hot thing. We need to lose the Christmas Story with Neil Miller from WDEF. Look up Drunk Junior Samples, Santa Claus, Christmas Time, Chattanooga, Tennessee on YouTube.
I don't know why you'd lose that. That's a good story.
We're losing BR5 for Me as a title.
Ah.
And we're taking the Junior Samples story and we're using him as what he obviously is, a Christ figure.
What?
And my show that is going to fucking obliterate your stupid show
Watch your mouth.
is called Junior Christ Sample Star.
What?
Junior Christ a Sample Star. Because everybody loves Jesus. 75% of the people. And everybody loves Junior Samples. that knows who he is.
But they don't want them the same thing. What?
Did you watch the Jesus Christ Superstar live special on Easter?
Hell no.
Oh. I think a lot of people did.
Well,
I mean, it's no Roseanne.
I didn't watch it, Roseanne, either.
We're taking the Junior Sample story, we're making him a Christ figure.
No.
And we're setting it during hee-haw times so that he's getting so popular. And all the people on hee-haw are like, oh, man, he's getting too popular for hee-haw. We need to do something about this. Junior Samples Christ Star, Sample Star, Junior Christ Sample Star.
What?
That's why I'm actually currently in casting. So if you know anybody who can do a decent Gordy Tap, Archie Campbell, Grandpa Jones, because we need impersonator, like a Gordy Tap impersonator, but like as a Pharisee. Like if you can do Archie Campbell as Caiaphas, get in touch with me, because we are going to go ham on these fucking Victor Mileage.
Watch your mouth. No one's going to go see Junior Sample, Christ Sample Star. That's
When
stupid.
I read the Bible when I was a kid, I said, I wish Junior Samples was in this. And when I watched Jesus Christ Superstar, I said, I wish Junior Samples was in this.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, hey.
I understand wanting to see him and everything. But as a child, maybe at the Bible before you realize, what it's about. Maybe that makes sense. I don't know why you want him singing. That's a hippie show is what I remember it being years ago. People tried to get me to go see it over at the college. And I'm like, I ain't going to see that.
Junior Samples is the perfect Jesus for this modern age. A little drunk, a little confused, obese. Folks, not one of you. That's Junior Samples is Jesus Christ and Junior Christ Sample Star. Jackie, these songs write themselves primarily because we're just taking the songs from Jesus Christ Superstar and we're doing them in a dumb accent.
They're already dumb. Don't need the dumb accent. It up.
Mary, oh, that is good. Not one of you. Folks, look, Caiaphas are right outside our yard. This show is probably going to be the best thing you've ever seen.
It
we
don't sound
need
like
a more permanent solution. That's, we need now, yes, we need a Kenny Baker, Kenny Price impersonator. If you're 40-ish years old and you grew up in the South, Kenny Baker and Kenny Price are the same important. R2D2 Man and the bass singer from the Hee Haw Gospel Quartet are equally important. We need a more permanent solution to our problem. What do we do about samples of coming? Oh, gross.
What?
Samples of Cumming. He's from Cumming, Georgia, and his name is Junior Samples, but it just sounds like. But how would you even? Because what would a size?
Don't even.
I mean, it doesn't get much more unless you're like on some sort of medicinal diet. I don't think you're going to get more than a sample size. I mean, how much is supposed to be coming out of me?
Enough. I don't want to hear any more about any of this. No one's going to come see this. Think people go see some deal tip instead of Vince Gill? No one's going to do that.
Listen, he's not playing Junior Samples. What I'm going to have is a Boyd and Deal Tip Vince Gill impersonator just come up on stage so I can ridicule and make fun of him every once in a while.
Why?
Hey, you a Vince Gill impersonator? Well, you got about $3 in your bank account? What do you do, go to funerals and cry?
Why?
And then we're going to do a Vince Gill impersonator roast. Hey, why don't you go do a dumb play nobody wants to see?
All right. No one's going to go see your play. Everything you saying about it don't make any sense. We got about 12, 15 dogs. You got 4. Granted, there's a good dogs.
I can get more dogs.
Well, you ain't get none of these. None of them going to be sick like these dogs.
I can make them sick. You can find sick dogs. You don't have to get...
You make them sick.
I mean, I wouldn't make... I said I could make them sick. I wouldn't do that. I would go find dogs that was already sick. I don't have to mess around with the health of dogs.
All right, enough. You don't need to mess around with any of this stuff you're talking about. All of it sounds terrible. Don't... Just despite victim mileage to do all of this blasphemous, whatever it is you're doing, making dogs sick on top of it is pitiful.
Why do you think you're the kind of person that's like, oh, Last Temptation of Christ, Martin Scorsese's going to go to hell. Yes, he is, but it ain't because of that movie. That movie was trying to get people, that movie was trying to help people get into heaven. The 14 people who saw it, who went to art houses in 1987.
I don't care anything about that movie. I don't care anything about your stupid show.
Well, when you're having to stand in the ticket lottery, you're going to be wishing you'd been nicer to me.
Nope.
You're going to be saying, oh, I wish you, hey, Dunlap, can you get me a ticket? I need 4.
Nope. Never would want 4 tickets of that. I wouldn't want a half of one.
Mary, oh, that is good. While you prattle through y'all's supper, where and when and who and how, I reckon.
Enough.
Her alone tried to give me what I need right here and now.
All right, enough.
What's the buzz? Hey, what is the buzz? I'm going to be sitting. The other great thing about playing Junior Samples, even as Jesus, is basically you just sitting in a boat the whole time.
A boat?
And I don't have to remember any lines because that's natural. It's a fake boat, a stage boat. You just sitting down in a stage boat. I'm like, hey, can we get... I asked Cindy Hatchett and Jackie Bro's impersonator that looks after the dogs, I said, how many mattresses can we put down here? They said, 2. I said, that sounds good. So we're going to make it comfortable for me on stage. How comfortable do you think Vince Gill's going to be on stage in a clamshell in the middle of the woods? I've heard stories. I've talked to country music people. I know that his aftershave draws mosquitoes. I've heard that story. Cocaine Rhinestones, I heard it. So that's Dodge's Tater Logs. You ain't got nothing to do if you're eating a tater log.
Now's the time that we both have to go. Our podcast come out really great, we know. Our time is at an end, so until we meet again, we'll just have to say goodbye, friend. Saying bye-bye always brings us down. But our bags are packed and we have to leave town. A postcard to you we will send if a stamp to us you'll lend, so we can write and say goodbye, goodbye.
ain't nobody gonna see in this show about any of that stuff you said. It's all pitiful. Nobody, unless people,
I guess Jesus is pitiful.
No, the way you make him sing and be Junior Samples, that's beneath Jesus. And Junior Samples himself would say that. He would say, you need to get someone else to play Jesus.
Junior Samples would say, what would he say?
He would say, you get someone else to play Jesus. Someone's better suited for that.
Oh, right, like baby Jesus in a play. Nativity scene, squalling baby. They go, that baby's fine for Jesus, but Junior Samples, famous actor.
That's a baby. You talk about Jesus, grown man singing Jesus. No, that's not. Those two things are separate. Two separate things. You don't bring those together. No, sir. You will see how many people end up going to that instead of coming. When they hear Vince Gill and Amy, Grant is going to be in a Junior Sample show and singing with all these dogs, that's where they're going to be. They ain't going to go see 4 dogs. They want to see 15 dogs. They don't want to see a Vince Gill impersonator. They want to see Vince Gill. They don't want to see Amy Grant impersonator or Tanya Tucker pretending to be Amy Grant impersonator. No, they want to see Amy Grant. And they sure as hell don't want to see you.
That's a lot of assuming.
What?
Assume. You know what happens when you assume?
All right, just...
You're a dickhead.
Hey!